Hey guys, it's Logan here with Making Manzanita. Today we're going to be making this book holder. There's some free plans to go along with it. The joining we're going to use here is some pocket holes, and we're going to be cutting these things at angles. The wood we're using is 1x12 common board here, and as you can see, it holds books inside as well as keeps your spot on top. Let's dive into it. All right, today we're going to be using this saw. It's a double bevel compound sliding miter saw. It's 12 inches. It just has a lot of room, a lot of cut space. It'll cut this 1x12 in one pass. We're going to do a couple passes on it, but if you don't have something like this, you can always use a table saw or a hand saw. As you can see here, we're doing a couple passes on the cut. You don't want to dive in and do the entire board at once. This prevents any chipping, ripping of the wood if you just kind of take it slow. I'm dry fitting them here together to see how my angles are going to fit. Basically, whenever I'm cutting with angles, sometimes it just doesn't come out right. You can use a tape measure and cut all the pieces down at once if you're confident. I like to just size it up, make a mark how it's actually going to set with the wood I have. This would have had an actual bowing or crowning in it. Just crowning means the middle of the wood is coming up from the edges. It kind of creates a little bow effect. So dry fitting it just helps it and helps you make the better cuts, so it'll fit together, fit together better. We're going to be cutting this board here. Take a couple passes. Don't do what I'm about to do and just dive through the whole thing and just force it. Let the saw blade cut a little bit. We have a trim saw that we're using here. It's a lot of teeth, so I got lucky. But always work these cuts a little slower when you're making a big on the sliding miter saw. One last dry fit. You can see there's a couple gaps, but nothing too major, nothing we can't sand out and fill later. Going to test some books that we have read or have inside. As you can see, it fits a few inside and keeps your spot on top. Real quickly before we dive in and do the pocket holes, I just want to show you a trick we learned we had to do on this project. Uh, we had to adjust the stop collar on the drill bit. Because this is cut at a 30-degree angle, the drill is going to go right through the edge of the wood, and you don't want that with pocket holes. You want a nice platform for the screw head to rest on. So what we did here is we adjusted it and tested it until you could see finally we had the proper depth on that last hole there. And take a look at the drill here. Where it sat was between both of the measurements, the 1/2 inch and the 3/4. What we're doing now is marking where the pocket holes are going to be drilled into. We're doing 2 on the side and 1 in the middle. And we're just using the speed square here to kind of line everything up to keep all of the holes in the same spot. Same distance from the sides, in the middle. We're going to be doing our bottom here first. This is our Craig clamp table and our 720 Craig Jig Pro. We just have a shot vac attachment for this. Drilling through here, it's quick, it's easy. You got the shot vac going, it's clean. You can get through a lot of pocket holes quick on this thing. We're doing it in real time right now too. It's not like it's sped up, so you can see just how fast you can line it up, drill it, get it done. Makes for quick work, especially we're using a lot of pocket holes on this what's going to be a tiny woodworking project. Just flipping it over, doing the other side now. Just drilling through. We'll be done soon with this, and we'll be getting on to assembly. Going to sand everything first. You can see on this piece the edges are a little blown out. It needs a little bit of help. And that's what we're going to be diving into right after we're done drilling this last pocket hole here. Again, always use the 80 grit. 80 grit kind of takes everything down. It shapes the wood a lot better. This common board sands down pretty quickly. There's not very dense. This is paint grade stuff we're using here, so it's not a hardwood. But take the 80 grit, get everything down, get all your blemishes out. Now, before assembling, this is next to impossible with all the angles on this project, so you're going to want to sand all this stuff down and get a majority of it done now. During assembly here, if you're not confident, we can't use any clamps really because of these angles. It was too hard. Grab a friend if you need. Just do your best you can. You're going to be sanding this down. Oh, we just used a bunch of paint grade wood chips or wood plugs there. And then now what I'm doing is just filling any of these last gaps with wood filler, just to give it a nice clean look after we sand here. Um, Take it down with the 80 again, get everything flush. Remember, flush is just nothing sticking up. You run your finger over it, there's nothing jagged or pieces of splinters and wood sticking up. Get it down, shape it with the 80 grit, and then put the 150 on and sand it down again. On these interior wood plugs here, we're just cutting off the excess with a multi-tool and then sanding as much as we can with a multi-tool. Inevitably, because of this angle, you're going to have to use this sandpaper by hand. You have to get a sheet and really work it right into the angle, into the cracks there. But do as much work as you can with the tools, get in there with your hand, finish up the job. We did a spray primer for this. When you're using a spray primer, do a couple coats. Don't make them light. You can see here it's not fully covered on my first pass. I'm not worried about it. I just don't want to overload the paint onto the piece and have drips running, because then if you have drips, you have to sand it down and repaint again. So go slow. Once you're done priming, put your color that you chose on. We're brushing it on here. It's just easier to get inside the piece with all those angles with the brush and take our time. And then 2 or 3 coats, it was done. It's nice and durable. You can see it in our living room here. It holds a fair amount of books. It fits on our end table there. And again, like on top, it holds the spot of any book you're reading. Fun little project, quick, fast. Again, you don't have to rush, but looks great. Does its intended purpose, and overall, just, I don't know. It's simple, and I like it. I like it simple most of the time. Well, there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. I know we had fun building it. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe down below. Hit the bell for some notifications. There'll be links in the description for all the products we used, as usual, any materials. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Other than that, watch the next video if it's popped up by now, and then thanks and have a good one.